Welcome to another episode 2 of the Cutting Matters podcast, brought to you by Graphtec GB. I'm Alistair and I'm joined by my colleague Ellen.
I'm Ellen. Nice to see you all again.
Yeah, another lovely sunny day. We seem to only record podcasts on sunny days.
Well, we are in Wales.
We are in Wales.
We are in Wales, sunny Wales. And it's half term, some holidays as well, isn't it? So
Yeah.
The weather is actually on our side, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it should be for summer holidays, but it's a bit of a freak because normally on summer holidays it absolutely chucks it down.
Yeah, it does. On the weekend, I went to Abersoch for the first time ever, and the weather was so good, it felt like I was abroad.
Oh, if you go to Abersoch and
It was
you get good weather, it's like you're in Spain.
It was stunning. It was so nice. So yeah, I made the most of the sunshine on the weekend.
Yeah, I tried to. Had the first Wrexham game of the season.
And they won.
The first half of football was the worst football I've ever seen in my life, but the second half was great. Yeah, and then Sunday was my daughter's 3rd birthday.
Of course, yeah. Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
What did you guys do?
A big family barbecue.
Yeah. Lovely.
Went to a reputable cash and carry, bought a load of
goods.
Yeah, a load of food for the barbie, chucked it on, had a massive barbie for people.
I bet that was lovely.
Yeah, a lot of cooking.
Yeah.
Don't think I gave anybody food poisoning.
You didn't?
I don't think so.
Well, you weren't here yesterday.
I wasn't. That was different.
Is that your cover up?
Yeah, it was. I didn't poison everybody who came to the barbecue. At least I tried not to anyway. But yeah, so we're down here for episode 2, the Cutting Matters podcast. Got only a couple little bits of news for you today. First one, just a quick update on the portal. Obviously, we told you last week the portal was live.
Yeah.
We've had loads of emails this week from people who who hadn't got an account who wanted to, so we're still working through those. So we will get those all sorted out for you by the end of this week. And if you still haven't had any contact or you haven't made contact with us to get on the portal, do so, and we'll get you signed up for it straight away.
Yeah.
And then you've got a bit of news about lasers.
Yes. So I think we should maybe talk about lasers in general on this podcast.
Yes.
And then it'll kind of tie in nicely with
it ties into last week's Ask Ellen.
Yeah, of course. So where should we pick up from? So Graphtec, we supply laser machines. They're not branded as Graphtec.
No.
But they're branded as the WidInovations brand.
WidLaser
range.
Yeah.
Well, they do laminators as well. So they do a full range of
CNC machines. It's just at the moment we're focusing on the lasers, aren't we?
Yeah.
But they do a lot more than lasers with WidInovations. But yeah, at the moment we're just supplying the WidLaser C series and the laminators, aren't we?
Yeah, at the moment. So yeah, they're Portuguese brand. So we are the UK distributor for these machines.
Yep.
So we do all of the initial, first conversation with the customers, finding out what sort of business they want to use their machine for, demonstrations, samples, and then sell the equipment to the customers that are looking to buy a machine. So these laser machines, they can cut and they can engrave a variety of different materials. So
what are your most common ones?
Main one would probably be either acrylic and MDF. They're two very popular ones, which again ties in with the sign shop thing that we talked about last week. I know. I haven't got my teeth in yet. The sign shop conversation that we had last week about having Graphtecs in the units in the studios. So yeah, the main materials would be your acrylics and your MDFs. But these machines can engrave onto slate, which is quite a Welsh theme, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
it's Berwyn slate.
Yeah. So yeah, slate. It can cut out MDF, your woods. There's literally a wide range of materials that it can cut and engrave onto.
Yeah, engrave onto like mark, well, it's not like, what is it, coated metals. Doesn't the CO2 machines don't cut through metal, but they
Mhm.
will mark onto coated metals if they say they're like anodized and things like that, won't they?
Yeah, yeah. That's it. So yeah, we sell the machines as a package. So you'd get the laser machine and all the added additions that come with that you need with a laser machine. So there's no hidden costs or anything like
No.
that. You literally buy the machine as a package and then you're good to go. You just
So
need to buy
when you
material.
buy a WidLaser system, is there anything that you get with these systems that you potentially don't get with other ones of a like price or even more expensive?
There is a variety of different features really. So software is a big thing which the machine comes with. So that's just your generic software where you can import images in or you can again get quite creative and create your own designs in there. So that's a good feature. There is
What software
also
is it?
it's called RD Works,
Okay.
but the software does run off the machine does run off other softwares,
Yeah.
other popular softwares.
Yeah, so you can
Like
plug it into other things. You don't have to use the software that comes with it.
no, no. And then there is also additional features that you can add on, such as like the camera feature as well, and also a rotary device too.
Yeah.
So the camera enables you to do print and cut jobs. So that's very similar to like a Graphtec machine as well when you're doing cutting out outlines of different designs.
Yeah.
And also the rotary device allows you to engrave onto glasses, bottles, that sort of
Anything
thing.
cylindrical.
Yeah.
Yeah, spins it, rotates it as you're cutting it. We've
Yeah.
actually done a video on our YouTube channel
Mhm.
of us how to like install it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And then inserting what did we? It was a glass, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was a
glass.
glass tumbler that we put into
Yeah.
it, and then obviously cutting, not cutting, engraving onto that glass, and then
Yeah.
the process of taking it all out, but assembling it and getting it all working.
Mhm.
Somebody phoned up a few weeks ago asking whether it was just one size of our machines. I think we spoke about this. I don't know. Um, if it was just one of the size of machines, you could fit a rotary device to, but all of the C series, so the C500, 700, 900, and 1000 machines,
Yeah.
you can attach a rotary device to all those, can't you?
You can. Yeah. The We'd have 4 different models available. So the what you just said then, C500, C700, they're just the different sizes that are available.
Yeah.
So you're not just restricted to one size. You can, have different ones available too.
Yeah. In fact, I'll grab out the sizing for you now. So what with the lasers, why did I'm questioning you. Obviously, I know the answer, but for everyone that's listening, it's like we've always done cutting plotters, which are
Yeah.
knife machines, aren't
Yeah.
they? But there is a limitation, as good as the Graphtec machines are,
Mhm.
there is a limitation to what they will cut through, isn't there? So
Exactly
we
that,
had
yeah.
a requirement. We were getting quite a few requirements from customers who wanted to cut through thicker, rigid materials, which the Graphtec machines
They
just
couldn't
can't do,
do.
can they?
No, they couldn't do. So that was another reason for why we looked at, adding the laser machines to our offerings. We've got, flatbed machines that can cut thick material like your magnetic material, but not to the level of what a laser machine can cut and with the speed it comes with as well.
Yeah,
So yeah, cutting out, 12 mil, 10 mil acrylic, you wouldn't be able to do on one of our Graphtec machines. So that was a reason why we looked at laser machines. And it was the WidInovations which we looked at and thought, that they're a really good piece of equipment.
yeah,
We want to have that part of our range.
yeah. So we looked we were looking obviously to bring in Graphtec have always, well, they are seen as market leaders, aren't they, for the machinery that they provide? And we were very conscious when we were looking to work with a laser manufacturer that we wanted something that we could trust was like quality to that of a Graphtec. Because if, for instance, we bought, well, we started supplying machinery that was of a substandard to what we deem the Graphtechs to be, then that could have a knock-on effect to what people's perception of the Graphtec machines would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So at the time when we were looking for um, a system to work with, WID were also looking for a partnership in the UK with somebody who was a distributor, and to cut a long story short, both of our kind of visions for what we were looking at aligned. and it just so happened to be that their color scheme also fits in with ours.
Yeah, of course. It just works well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It was meant to be.
yeah, definitely meant to be. So that's how we came to work with Wid. I say they are a Portuguese brand, aren't they? So everything that you get is designed and manufactured in a facility in, is it Porto?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
Have you,
voice is going here. Yeah.
you haven't been out there yet,
Not
have you?
yet, no. It's a trip that I wanted to do this year, so fingers crossed I can still fit that into the diary.
Filling up though.
It is I will get there, honestly. But yeah, all the gents there are amazing. They know their stuff. They
Yeah.
know the machines inside and out. They can remote in. So when I'm doing stuff with the laser machine, some bits of the laser machine I'm still not overly confident with.
Yeah.
So having them on the other line, being able to support me that way is just amazing. So yeah, they're a great bunch.
Yeah. So there's any like if you invest in a machine with us, you get lifetime technical support.
Oh yeah,
And if there's a question that we can't answer, well, we have a
we'll
really
find
good
out.
working relationship
Yeah,
with WID, don't we? So we will find out within probably half an hour at times what the answer
yeah,
is, isn't
even
it? They are
less. Yeah,
literally that rapid in getting
they're
back to us.
efficient, aren't they?
Yeah.
Quick.
So with
Yeah,
with the machines, I've just fired it up on my phone now because I always get mixed up with the mill sizings on them. So the
yeah.
C500, which is the smallest machine, that is 700 wide by 500
500.
deep.
Yeah,
C700 moves up to 1,000 wide by 700
700.
deep. So obviously the number refers to how deep the machine is.
Yeah,
Well, that's the cutting area, isn't it? Not the
yeah,
actual full size of the machine, but the actual cutting bed area.
yeah.
Um, C900, 1,300 mil wide by 900
100.
deep, and the 1,000,
16
1,600 wide by
by
1,000
1,000.
deep.
Yeah,
So we've just recently installed a C1000, haven't we?
1,000. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you need some serious
Oh, it's
workspace
big.
for that.
Yeah, it's big.
It's a huge machine. But, yeah, like, we've got in our demo room, we have the C700, don't we?
Yeah,
And that's what you're using to produce all your samples on.
yeah. To be fair, that's quite a big size machine as well.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
is. And one thing to mention as well with the laser machines, when you go up with the size of the workbed, you go up with the power tube as well. So it's more powerful. So speed is more quicker and it'll be able to cut through thicker materials as well.
yeah.
So as you go up in spec, the quality remains, greater each time.
Yeah, so all the machines have an automatically height adjustable bed, don't they?
They do, yeah.
Which then lends itself to the autofocus feature.
That's one of the best features about the machine, yeah. So there's a little button on the control panel. So when you're loading different materials in, you just press the autofocus and then measure the distance between the lens and the material.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go in and measure the distance each time.
Yeah, some on
A
other
lot of
machines that they don't have that, people make a jig, don't
yeah,
they? And it can
yeah,
take ages to get it right. Whereas with the WID systems, you drop the bed height down to fit your um, item piece of material into it, click autofocus, the bed raises up,
yes,
kind of connects with like the diode button on the bottom, senses how deep it needs to be, and within 20 seconds you've got your height and you're ready to go, aren't you?
yeah.
And 20 seconds well, that's just probably the time it takes for the bed to
Bed
move
to
up,
lift up,
the bed
yeah.
to lift up to actually connect, depending on how far you've dropped it down.
Yeah. So again, that gives you the option if you had, really large material, like thick material, you can load that onto the bed as well. So we've had a customer that was putting stone into the machine. So as long as it's not too heavy for the machine to hold, you can load that in, do the autofocus. So again, a wide range of materials that can go into it to
Yeah,
engrave.
I've seen like everyone likes a good hack. And now this technically isn't a hack, but with the WID machines, there is a panel on the front, which if you look inside the machine has two clasps either side.
Yeah.
So you can loosen the clasps off, the front of the machine drops down, which gives you two options. You can either use, if you're using a piece of sheet which is too long to fit your bed size, but will fit in widthwise, you can run that piece of, say it's acrylic, for instance, run that piece of acrylic in, do your job, then you can pretty much use laser to sheet it off, can't you?
Yeah. Yeah, we've done that before now.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then also you can do it, you use that same thing. So if you've got something that may be a bit too heavy for the machine to take itself, then for instance, if you were able to support it like using a pallet or something and run that pallet into the machine,
Yeah.
you can use the pallet that's stabilized by something else outside the machine to then cut heavier things than what maybe the bed on the machine is capable of doing. But as long as you're careful, then you can actually
Yeah.
Mark. Obviously, you're not going to cut through stuff like that, but that's for marking
Yeah,
or engraving, isn't it?
engraving.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking like like maybe heavy piece of granite
Mm.
and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is. So we are at the moment doing the 4C series machines, aren't we?
Yeah.
But there is a new
So
model.
this is the new news.
Yeah.
So We'd have launched a new machine which is an S series.
Okay.
So there's 2 models in the S series, and that's not available until September. So the S series is much more quicker, and you have a similar sort of workbed as well. So they come in 2 models, the S600, which is an 800 by 500 machine in working area, and then the S1000 is your 1600 by 1000.
Okay.
But they're much, much quicker for speed, and the power again has been increased too. But there's only 2 models in that range, but they're very much like the current machines on the market in terms of specification, sort of like for like. So yeah, the quality is next to none on those. I went over to the show in Vespa,
Yeah.
and WidInovations had their own stand there, and they had these new
It's an impressive
machines.
stand as well from the pictures.
Yeah,
They don't mess around, do they?
it was good, yeah. And on this stand had their new machines, and they were quick. I was I was really, really shocked of how quickly they were.
Well, even compared to our like the C series.
Yeah. I mean, the C series, you can put it through its paces,
Yeah.
but the S series, it was just you blink and it's done.
Wow.
And the quality's there as well, especially for engraving, pictures, so people's faces, that sort of thing. It
Have we
was
got any idea
really
of
good.
pricing?
At the moment, not yet.
Yeah.
But because it's nearly September time,
Yeah,
we'll get some
we'll soon
prices
find out.
together and get that, launched
Yeah.
here in the UK.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward
So
to
that
seeing
is
those.
exciting
Is
news.
that something we're gonna get in the den room?
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I
That
think
means
we
I'll have to give up our
should.
podcast space because it'll have to go where we're sat. We'll have to build a new studio for the podcast, which isn't a shame. And then, yeah, we'll get even more equipment in here at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got so much equipment in this building at the minute. We've actually turned the atrium out the front into a little demo room area for the FC9000,
It's
haven't we?
nice in the sunshine though.
It
The
is. It's
sun,
great.
yeah, beaming down on our equipment.
You may have seen our Instagram post on Friday. When did I put it up?
It was Friday, I
Was it
think. I
Friday
remember
night?
you taking a picture as you were leaving work.
I was walking out the office and the light was there. You've
Yeah,
got to
it's meant
react
to
when
be.
you look at
Yeah.
photography. You've got to look at the light.
All about them angles.
It is. So yeah, so that's where the FC is currently residing, is out front. So as soon as you walk into our office, you see the FC9000 sat there for you. But we
Yeah.
wanted to decorate the set a little bit, so it actually looks a little bit small on camera looking at the monitor
Maybe
over
that
there. But
you can
we
see
have
it.
our new little recording sign here, which you cut on. I made the design, sent you the file over, and then what was the process of making that then?
So the file was really easy. So you sent it me in a PDF.
Yeah.
I opened that PDF in Adobe Illustrator and then saved it as a specific version. Then opened that in the RD Work software.
Okay.
And then all I did then is the outline was one color for cut, and then the design in the middle was another color for the engraving. So I just changed the settings, so the power was different, the speed was different for each layer, and then sent the job through.
Great.
And then it engraved first and then cut afterwards.
So how long did that take to cut? If
Less
you
than
can
5
remember.
minutes.
Less than 5
It
minutes
was
to
the
cut that.
engraving that took longer.
Yeah, I suppose there is quite a lot going on there, isn't there, really?
Yeah, but it was really, really easy. Within 10 minutes, it was done.
And for those of you who are listening, obviously, this, if you can see on, because we're videoing this, but basically we've cut a little acrylic recording sign.
We'll take some pictures and put it on the Instagram.
Yeah, I'm going to take some new pictures. Yeah, so we'll put it on the Instagram account, which is a great feed into. We have an Instagram account.
Yeah.
So if you haven't already started following it, just search for the Cutting Matters podcast on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Give us a follow. That'll be filled with basically just.
Is there stuff on there now?
Oh, there's stuff on there now.
Is there?
Oh, there's already posts on there.
Okay.
Yeah, already filling it with content, but that'll be for kind of behind the scenes shots of what we're doing on the podcast, stuff that we're talking. So if you're not a YouTuber and watching this on the podcast, obviously you can click from as you're listening. If you want to scroll into Instagram and do this, you can obviously see what we're talking about with this little sign here. But yeah, stuff like that will be
I'll have to make
included.
that sign bigger, I think.
Yeah, we'll
It
recut
does look really small.
We'll recut it. We'll make a video and we'll stick that on our laser Instagram account as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just whilst I'm on the scope of talking about this, we also have the Cutting Matters podcast group, which we're now starting to get members joining. So that's to ask, it's to get involved basically to talk about any questions that you've got for the podcast ourselves. If you want to chat amongst yourselves and start topics of like what machines you've bought from us, what you're using them for, all that type of thing. So yeah, it's just a place for all of our listeners and watchers to come in and chat everything podcast related and other things about support for your machines, really.
Yeah.
Um, which moves us on quite nicely to our Ask Ellen section. So the
Here we go
question,
again.
here we go again. So the question, I've got this in my head
Mm.
because I read it on my email this morning. I haven't got my laptop in front of me, so excuse my wording if I get this wrong. But the question is currently, what is the most popular sector our machines are being sold into?
Okay. For did they say which machine
They
or
didn't. They just said which sector in general, whether it's cutting plotters, I guess, or lasers or whatever,
yeah,
which is the most kind of buoyant sector right now, I
yeah.
guess.
I would say the roll fed machines, the FC range in particular, so the wide format.
Yeah,
I would say PPF, so paint protective film.
cars and
So
everything like that.
that's for cars. So car wrapping, using the Graphtec machines to cut out that material, like templates to stick onto cars. That has really taken off. We've always done it,
Yeah,
but there's more and more people getting involved with it. So I think at the moment the large format cutters, that would be the popular sector we're selling into at the moment.
yes, I can corroborate that with just doing the Instagram accounts and everything. We get tagged into so much content on our Graphtec GB Instagram account for
Yeah.
PPF and detailers. It's unreal.
It's good though, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Like seeing
amazing.
it, like all the videos that
Yeah,
how people are doing it as
yeah,
well.
it's incredible, and the cars that they get to work on every day.
Yeah,
I wouldn't class that as a job.
I know. Well, when we're doing some installs, because Graphtec we do installs and training as
Yeah.
well. When we've sold the machines, and I know one of the technicians, he likes his cars, and he comes back saying, "Oh, you should have seen this car," and then giving it its model code. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Oh right, yeah, I wouldn't know."
No, but he's buzzing off it.
Yeah, like really loving it. Like, how does this work?
So why are people choosing the FC? It's the 160 as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 160, so that's the largest wide cutting machine that we have.
Yeah.
But because of its accuracy and reliability, people are buying that machine because of how expensive the material is.
Yeah.
And with the rolls that people buy the material in, the 160 fits that bill.
Yeah. You get like with the FC9000 range, you get 15 meters guaranteed tracking
Yeah,
as standard, which in some industries you can increase that depending on what you're doing because you can add the automatic take up spool. So if you're in an industry where you're using large format printers at the minute and you run roll to roll where you have the spool at the bottom, you can do that with the Graphtec FC9000 as well. It's only mainly used that particular system though. If you're doing a lot of print and cut files for
yeah,
PPF and things like that, you wouldn't use that take up spool.
no,
But 15 meters is more than enough, and obviously the width of machine gives you pretty much every single panel size that you can imagine for any
yeah,
vehicle that's on the road that would be used. It's like you cut PPF to put on at the moment. Um, Supercars mainly, Ferraris,
yeah,
Mercedes, McLarens,
uh-huh,
everything. It's just amazing what they do. Um, as we do, we have the CE range of machines that is also available in a 160, but the CE doesn't have the same tracking capabilities. And we get
no,
often asked, "Oh, you do a CE 7000 160? You cannot just use that for PPF."
mhm,
Um, No,
I
is
wouldn't.
the
Yeah,
harshest of answers really. It's a job for the FC because of the tracking capabilities of that machine and the fact it can hold such like the PPF as a roll, it's heavy
heavy.
stuff.
Yeah, I see you wouldn't be able to hold that weighted material.
Yeah, it's dragging that it's not just holding it, it's actually being able to drag that material through the plotter as well.
Yeah,
So you always have to leave a bit of runoff. And when you get a heavy roll of material, if you don't leave yourself any runoff on the back of the machine, then you with any machine that you're using, you'll have issues trying to pull that type of weight through. There is actually things you can do though. So I think next week we'll talk about not just buying your machine, but the accessories that you can buy to go along with your machine to open that machine up to other jobs that it can potentially do. But for instance, with PPF being quite a heavy material, what you can also do is we do media flanges.
Yeah, we do.
And what those media flanges do, they pop into each end of the media and basically reduce the surface area, the contact surface area, what's on the media bars, which makes it easy for that media to freely spin off. Whereas if you think the weight of the PPF, that whole weight is run along the whole surface area of the bar, it creates extra friction, which means it's harder to pull through the machine. But when you use the media flanges, it reduces those two contact points down a lot smaller, which reduces the friction quantity. So that's why people use the media flanges. But a good a big topic of conversation for I think next week would be, I think we'll have a look at all the accessories for both the CE range and the FC range and explain to you guys why getting the accessories for those machines actually opens up a new kind of dimension of what you can do with them, doesn't it?
Yeah.
With the podcast, obviously we are on video now. So if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, drop us a comment, and if you want to share it, that would be great. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the little bell icon, because if you hit the bell icon, you'll get a notification actually on your YouTube account when we post new podcast live for you. Next week, we will be recording on the normal day of podcast day, also known as Monday. This is Tuesday morning. I had a bit of an issue yesterday where I couldn't get into the office.
It really threw me yesterday. I was ready to record and you didn't come in. And I was like, right.
Yeah, well, I had a bit of a issue at home with illness. So yeah, I'm back in today.
Okay now,
everything's okay. We're all fine.
Partying too hard. That's what it was.
Yeah, partying too hard on Sunday. It wasn't my cooking. I'll reiterate, it definitely wasn't my cooking.
Yeah.
But I think from today, that's pretty much us for today, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Well,
thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again next week.